Hey guys, Tbull here. Today we're going to be doing a deep dive on the Prinz Rupprecht new Tier 8 German Battlecruiser Celiax. That's the build I use. Note slot 2, the Porcupine. We'll talk about that. Pickup. You guys advocate this guy a lot. Slot 2, he's got something called Fusillade, which changes the enhanced secondary consumable characteristics. We'll talk about both those in a bit and why I prefer one over the other. Briefly, before we get going here, though, we're really close to 25,000 subscribers. I've secured prizes. We're talking about, we're talking 7 premium ships and about 20 crates or so. 20 crates on the dot, actually. There's no about anything. But we got a Tier 7 premium to give away. We got 2 Tier 6s, 2 Tier 5s, 2 Tier 4s. That's going to be outstanding. We'll do probably 3 or 4 of the giveaways in a stream, which I'll schedule here once we actually hit it. And then the rest of the giveaways will be on the channels of this channel, Tbull, and also my secondary channel, Bull Bites, which you can find the link to that in the description. So a lot of giveaways coming up, crates, ships. There might be, videos where I say comment this, and then we'll choose from the people commenting it, or it could be the community tab section on these channels. So there's plenty to pay attention to, but over the next little while, once we actually hit the number, if indeed we ever do, that's where the giveaways will be on. So both channels, so be sure to be subscribed to both of them if you want to participate in the giveaways. The giveaways will be for channel subscribers only. So here we got a collection of footage. We're just going to be showing this Rupprecht and brawling situations in the background while we discuss the ship. First off, let's talk about the commander builds. I like Celiax and I like Porcupine better. Number one, it adds range to these secondaries. Plus 1 kilometer on this build, which makes quite a difference. And then accuracy. Plus 15 on the grouping and minus 18 on the dispersion. Now, this is all maxed. Okay, I got a high level Celiax. When we compare it to Pickup here in a moment, he's not quite maxed. So the numbers won't be quite apropos. But what are we talking about grouping? Well, take Norm Scott or Cunningham, the battleship grouping commander. Those guys, when you got them fully maxed, add 5%, which is an outstanding bonus. Here we're talking 15. Now, the secondaries are inherently wildly inaccurate by nature. And even if with these high-level accuracy buffs, and we got Haruna, we got Von Hipper on the inspirations, we got everything affecting the secondaries. Every ship perk that we got, or mods or whatever, everything secondary-oriented on these German battleships that support it. But overall, that accuracy is huge. Now, Fusillade, the pickup one, again, changing the characteristics of the secondary reload, the secondary battery mod, or whatever the hell it's called, which you can also enhance by slot 4 on both of the builds. A lot of you guys choose to go with the heals over that. I always go all in on the secondaries when I go into it. So if you're running that pickup's going to be even stronger. But what do we got here on his slot 2 perk? It's minus 15% on the cooldown for that consumable, plus 1 charge, so you get an extra secondary reload booster, which is outstanding, and plus 10% to the high explosive penetration of these secondaries. So both of them very strong, but my philosophy when we're designing commander builds is always, first you got to hit the thing, then you got to penetrate it, and then if we want to enhance the damage after that, that's kind of third, right? So I always go accuracy first, then penetration, and then raw damage booster. Okay, so Porcupine higher up on that list, hitting 15% more of the targets, hitting 18% more. Combining both of those, we probably have roughly a 20% accuracy boost. Who knows how the math works? But it's extremely, you're going to get a lot more hits, right? In these quick little bursts that I got, it's roughly about 100 hits if you're alive for about 5 minutes in these brawls. So that's why I prefer that. You guys let me know in the comments. I know there's a lot of Luke pickup fans out there. If that's your commander choice, let me know why. Okay, you guys keep trying to convince me. I've tried them a few times, not opposed to them, but that's my thoughts on that matter. Now, comparing the secondaries to the Zeiten and the Bismarck and the Friedrich Rupprecht, same small caliber setups. We got 105s. They all have a 2.3 second reload. The only difference is Zeiten, Bismarck, and Friedrich have 8 of those guns per side. This is the small caliber secondaries. And the Rupprecht has 10. Okay, same reload, same range basically. But the Rupprecht will get 2 more of those. And then all 4 of the ships have the same bigger caliber setup. 6 per side, 150 millimeters. And most of them have a 5.1 second reload, including the Rupee. Zeiton 5.8. Now, I don't know if those numbers got tweaked or not, because I was comparing the secondary builds last update, and this isn't jiving exactly how I remember it, but perhaps I'm just misremembering. But anyway, the other key difference is the Friedrich only has 11 kilometer reach on these secondaries, and all the other ones have 11.8. Okay, so both branches, outstanding secondary builds. In general, the Zeiton / Rupprecht, more mobility. Of course, we got torpedo attacks on these, and we got an outstanding torpedo attack in the Rupprecht, 7.5 kilometers. 2 launchers per side. Yeah, they get knocked out pretty easily, but sure, if you can get them going, as we've seen a couple times, you can get some torp strikes for sure. Bismarck, Friedrich, no torpedoes, tankier, more survivability focused. The secondaries on paper look roughly the same, but the accuracy enhanced on the Rupprecht and the Zeiton branch as well. So all in all, both of them very fun. I would, if you like the brawling playstyle, I would recommend going up the Bismarck branch and the Zeiton branch into the Friedrich and into the Rupprecht. But if I had to pick one of them, I would say the Bismarck Friedrich might be slightly easier. The Rupprecht line isn't necessarily the easiest. In fact, it's not the most survivable. In fact, usually I'm dead by about the halfway mark in these games, but I'm extremely aggressive with these, trying to do, spike damage very early and just wreck the team. That's my strategy. But I'd say those two are easier. They're all designed to go forward, so if you like to sit in the back, just skip the Germans altogether. There's other lines that are better at that. But if you like to get in there, muck it up, and get the secondaries going, get the guns going, get brawling, both outstanding. I'm just having so much fun with the Rupprecht branch that currently I would recommend that, but I would say it might be just a little bit harder due to the lower survivability. So that's the breakdown on that. All the ships have the same fire starting chance, by the way. And then I'm not going to really go too deep into the stats comparing it to the Friedrich. Just number one, because I got 2 of the 3 mods on the Rupprecht. I don't have the range boost yet, so the number's not entirely accurate. But on first blush, the gun characteristics roughly the same. Of course, the Friedrich der Grobas, if you put the 420 caliber guns on there, a little bit bigger than the 406s we got on here. And then the mobility favors the Rupprecht. Much better turn radius. Rudder shift on my stats is the same, but I got prop mod on this and rudder shift on the Friedrich, I believe. And we got about a full 1.1 knots faster on this. Something else you'll want to note, though, consumables. A lot of people don't pay too close attention to them. The consumables, on first blush, strongly favor the Friedrich. The heal, certainly. Okay, it's the same duration, but you get about 40 more health per second with the Friedrich, so a little bit better there. Although the Rupprecht has 3 charges, the Friedrich only has 2, so you can make a case either way there. Sonar, in fact, at first blush, looks like the Friedrich's better. You got a 4 kilometer torpedo detection range compared to 3.9. You got a 6 kilometer surface detection range compared to 5.7. But if you look carefully, the Rupprecht's is twice the duration, 2 minutes compared to 1 minute, and the cooldowns are roughly the same. So all in all, the Rupprecht's generally going to be considered the much better sonar, in fact, almost twice as good. And then the secondary reload booster, basically identical. The Friedrich's cools down 8 seconds faster, but other than that, the consumables. So the consumables a little bit of a wash. I'd say the sonar is better on the ship that we're currently watching, but all in all, great suite of consumables on both ships. So, I'd say the Rupprecht is just a little bit more versatile. It can excel in more situations, but it's just not designed to last as long. Okay, so if you've been noticing what we do with this ship generally, like I talked about this I think on the Zeiton video, but we consider most ships fighting other ships kind of a directed attack, right? If I shoot the Z-23 with my main guns, it's not going to hit anything else unless there's another ship basically tethered to it, right? And I miss or something like that. But the secondaries, different philosophy. Here we figure out where we are on the map, and then we figure out how much of an area of influence the secondaries have, and then we just kind of view that as like a hazardous obstacle or obstruction, however you want to view it, for the team. It's an area damage, right? We're damaging an area. Everything that we have a line of sight to in that area will be taking damage, will be taking fires, will be getting withered down gradually, and just the psychological effect as well. It's very worrisome to be sustaining a nasty secondary attack combined with main guns. So that's why, I try and get very aggressive with these positions, try and do the max damage as quickly as I can. If I die, so be it. There's other... Yes, you'd like to be alive late in the game, and not saying I die every single time early in these things, but if I can do 150 damage in 5 minutes, that should be an advantage that my team can take advantage of. Are they always going to do it? No, if they're sitting in the back watching me play the game, well, they're not taking advantage of that, and that's, at these higher tiers, that's usually what a good chunk of your teammates are doing. They're not actually playing, they're just watching. But, that's the theory. If you can do that spike damage very early, just smash the team, smash the flank, and then, move on with your life, well, your team should have that advantage, the numerical advantage. They can then capitalize on that, begin pushing flanks, and so on and so forth. So that's why I'm really aggressive with this. It seems to be working out quite well. One thing you do want to keep in mind with these German battle cruisers and even the regular German battleships, when we're looking at the score at the end of the game, secondary damage counts for less XP, less credit earnings, all that sort of stuff compared to main gun damage or even torpedo damage. So yeah, we might be getting 300, 400, 500 hits with the secondaries. We might be getting 150,000 damage, but a lot of times you'll get to the end of the scoreboard and be like, oh, what, 1,700 or 2,200, something that doesn't jive with what your expectations are. And that's just kind of like playing carriers as well. We're here to win the game. We're here to have an impact as a team player. Whether the scoreboard's necessarily rewarding us as robustly as it maybe should, I don't really know why secondaries count for less, other than the computer, I guess, controls them for the most part. I guess that part makes a little bit of sense, but at the same time, you're putting the ship in the position for those secondaries to do their damage. So I would advocate them being equal, but just be aware that your scores won't always reflect your experience. Anyways, that's going to do it for that one, guys. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. Lots of World of Warships coming all the time. Questions, comments, leave below, and we love to hear your video.